Welcome to Intercontinental Sport TV. People, beautiful Monday right from here from our studio. Right here, Maryland, Baltimore to be precise. Yes. United States. That's where we are kicking in live from. What else? Thank God it's Monday. I love Monday. I hate Monday. Tell me something, people. What do you like? Is it Friday? Is it Monday? People. Yeah. Beautiful people. Yes, smash the like on the video. The done in the building. We are live. It's special edition. Champions League and Europa League review tonight. Up is there with me. Don't mess around. It's filming. And stop. Put it up. The league is gone. For Arsenal people. Yes. I tell you. Before I let the cat out of the bag, let me show you what we have. So, Canadian dimension in any way. I call it the talking point moment. Sit down, relax. If you like on the video, join us, join the community. Intercontinental Sport TV. It's the channel. We set. We set. I swear now. Alright, talking point tonight, baby. That's the talking point tonight. We're looking at the talking point tonight. Yes, tonight. We're going to review the game played over the weekend. Also, the US, the Champions League and Europa preview tonight. Can you imagine the return of that man? The trophyless man. I tell you, Pochettino is back to it, yo. No shakings, not to Manchester United, not to Tottenham, but to the Blues. Yes, up there will be all the way from the United Kingdom. Enjoy the intro. That's what it's telling me. Don't mess around. Kunle is already ready. Robbie is telling me. I think both of them, they probably at the same time. Coming in together. I tell you. I'm in the spirit. How you alive? Talk to me, bro. What's going on, bro?
Yo, good evening. It's a beautiful Monday. I'm enjoying this background music. It has sent the mood for me. I'm in a good mood. It's a pleasure to be on the Intercontinental.
All right, let me ask Robbie. Are you feeling my intro? Robbie, you're live. You me, bro.
Good evening. How you doing? Good evening to up Arsenal. Well, okay, you know what? Before I even say anything, you know what? I will try and send you the video of a young lady here in Nigeria, and I will tell you the truth. She roasted Arsenal and fans yesterday with her band. She's an on-air personality, and she does it in Yoruba. I am telling you, if you hear it, you will be on the floor and you will laugh out your lungs. So I think on a serious note, I think Arsenal has done well. Let us just say it as it is. Arsenal has done exceptionally well this season, but unfortunately, I think they just lost it where it mattered the most. And those 3 consecutive draws against Southampton, Liverpool, and West Ham did them dirty. And with Brighton and Hove Albion yesterday, it just made the whole thing worse as it is. But I think kudos to Arsenal overall, and of course. I believe that next season will be better, and of course, subsequent seasons will be better for that team. I pray that very, very soon they win at least the trophy in Europe, or better still, they win something in England. So, on that note, I say good evening, and of course, it's good to be here once again.
All right. You're welcome. Mamus Arsenal, Orijogo. Don't take it. We did here this season, God's willing. Kunle, talk to me. You're alive. You're feeling my intro.
Good evening, and good evening to everyone all over the world. It's nice to be on the show once again. What a weekend of football it was. But I was disappointed though. I thought Everton were going to do something yesterday. So I'm really disappointed. It looked like they were going to do that, like the first 20. Like the first 25 minutes, they were really putting City under some pressure. They were having some good opportunities to counter, and I said, "Look, this is how you do it against City." But the issue is, can you sustain it? Yeah, but clearly they couldn't do that, and so that was a disappointing one for Everton. But that aside, I think every other result in the Premier League went as expected, including I'm not surprised that Brighton we're going to beat Arsenal, because for me, I said it. Brighton are the best team in the Premier League this season, without a doubt. I don't think there is. If anybody wants to debate that, fine. But for me, they are the best.
See the way they play from the back.
Oh my God! I mean, look at that left back, Estupinian. No. And funny enough, they're going to play. I really want to see how they will play because they're going to play Man City. That is a game, because I really want to see how they are going to approach that game. It's going to be that will be very interesting to watch.
All right, Kunle, you're welcome to the show. Let me ask Sheyomi Diora, are you feeling my intro? Right from here, from our studio. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Don. It's great to be back. I think it's actually a shame that Arsenal more or less just could not see things through. Because I feel we've seen great strides from Mikel Arteta's team all season, and I think surely this team they are only just getting started. So next year I expect them to add a few more bodies into the squad, more quality. I think that's where they lacked in the title race. They lacked the depth to chase and keep going head to head with Man City. So I hope in the summer they get a few more bodies in, and then they go again next season.
All right, people. Then the entire side giving them confidence next season. All right, we're here. Let's take it. All right, people. Let's go. Only it is what it is. You remember, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, come on, people. Smash the like on the video. First of all, let's view the match. The match review between Arsenal versus Brighton. Okay. Everything went wrong. 3-0. The first half was better, But coming into the second half, man. Okay. It just went somehow. Come on, give us a review. Talk to me. You're welcome.
So first of all, I would start with Brighton, right? And I'll start by what I said last week when talking about Roberto De Zerbi's post-match conference against Everton. The first thing he did was to attack the mentality of his players, and then he went on to say that against Arsenal, you will see the true quality of Brighton. And honestly, that's what we saw. We saw the true quality of Brighton. In the words of Pep Guardiola, we passed the ball not to move, but rather to make the opponent move. And simply, that's what Brighton did against Arsenal. I take a look at that Brighton squad, and I remember them coming to the Emirates last season and doing the same thing, but with a different team. The Brighton team that came to Arsenal last season had Trossard, had Cucurella, had Bissouma, and Mwepu, sadly, who is now retired. And now, they made good sales from those players. I'm taking a look at the values of those players that were sold. Sold Cucurella to Chelsea for £65 million. Sold Bissouma to Spurs for £29 million. Sold Trossard for £25 million. Sold Neil Maupay as well to Everton for £12 million. And they brought in unknown players. When I say unknown players, I'm talking about the likes of Eniscu, first of all. I'm talking about Undav. who is also another striker for them. Estupinan also came in this season. Estupinan, who just replaced Cucurella. But you see, despite all these new players coming into the Premier League being their first time, they hit the ground running and they made such a fantastic impact in this Brighton team. I must give kudos to Prof and Sheye, who have a bright talent in Levi Cole, who did fantastically well yesterday. He was able to hold down Martin Odegaard and also keep out Gabriel Jesus. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a big win for Brighton, and I think they're one of the most talented squads right now. And just like you said, arguably, probably one of the best team in the EPL this season, right? But, you know, speaking from the Arsenal point of view, just like I said on the Friday preview show, I didn't really care as far as I'm concerned. But you know what? I think they did not disappoint me because it was just a show of a team lacking that final push. You know, that final push that you need just to get yourself over the line. If you've watched many Usain Bolt races against this opponent of his,
remember this
not Tyson Gay, the one who got suspended before and came back again.
Justin Gatlin.
Gatlin. If you watch their final races together, you will see the way Bolt is always struggling to edge out Gatlin at the final 20 meters. Arsenal did not have that in them. Arsenal did not have that dog in them, because I was watching the game again from the beginning just before this show, and I could see that from the start Arsenal did not have that drive, did not have that same ginger that they usually have all season long. And obviously it's understandable. It could be a mental factor. I don't want to put it towards the mental aspect. I think it's more of the physical part of it. I think they were not as fresh as they wanted to be. Thomas Partey this last couple of weeks has been jaded, and you begin to wonder how old he really is. Is he really finished at this point in time? Because Jorginho is not fast enough. That's not the type of player Jorginho is. And then I take a look at other places around the field. There is no good, should I say, substitute for Zinchenko. Zinchenko's technical ability is second to none in that Arsenal team. Tierney does not give you the same thing. So when Zinchenko is not playing, it's a totally different ballgame. Look at the way Martinelli, who is Arsenal's top goal scorer, went off so early. Trossard came in and tried to do a good job, but the link-up play between him and Jesus was not just making sense. Same thing with Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka has been tired. Honestly, there has been no other good player who can come in for Bukayo Saka and give him a run for his money in this Arsenal squad. I would have preferred Reece Nelson to have played more games, definitely, and give Bukayo Saka more of a breather. But Arteta has his own idea of the player and where he wants to play him. They send Marquinhos on loan. You send Nicolas Pepe on loan. Basically, you let Bukayo Saka to fend for himself. This boy is just 21 years old. He simply cannot take this all on his own. And
I don't know why it's taking that risk to be using
after losing the penalty against West Ham in that 2-2 draw. Look, the boy seemed to be downcast, and he has found it difficult to get himself back in that rhythm. But it's normal. But what's the difference between Arsenal and Manchester City? It is quality in depth. Manchester City's game, there was no Kevin De Bruyne, there was no Jack Grealish, there was no Nathan Ake, there was no Bernardo Silva. But look at the crop of players that were able to go to a very, very tense Goodison Park and come away with a 3-0 victory. That's what we say when we're talking about quality in depth. That is quality in depth. The same thing happened with Real Madrid on Saturday when they won against Osasuna. Rather against Getafe. Yes, it was a slim margin, but it still got the job done. There was no David Alaba, there was no Rudiger, there was no Carvajal, there was no Modric, Kroos, or Casemiro has left and is at Manchester United. But look at what they did.
There was no Benzema as well.
Benzema in the squad. So if we're talking about quality in depth, this is what I'm talking about. If you want to play with the big boys, you need to do what the big boys are doing. But I started off talking about Brighton because Brighton are doing what the big boys do. Yes, for that Brighton team, they've got that quality in depth. They had no Tariq Lamptey, there was no Joe Veltman. Caicedo went to go and play right back. They had no so now Caicedo is taken out of the midfield option. And then they brought in this young chap, Billy Gilmore, who they signed from Chelsea. McAllister was given a free role and whatnot. These are the things I'm talking about. So you know what, Arsenal need to do a whole lot more better. But on the flip side of it, if you take a look at Arsenal season compared to where they're coming from, you would say it's a successful season. This Arsenal team finished 5th last season, and then now they're finishing second with their highest point tally under Mikel Arteta, and probably they will end up with one of the highest point tallies of a team who has failed to win the league. Maybe they will surpass Liverpool. But then when you think about it, the three major players who have made a difference in this Arsenal squad this season, Zinchenko, Jesus, Saliba, these players have missed crucial parts of the season.
Yeah.
And you can see that with their inclusion, they changed the mentality of the players. They
Everything changed.
Assuming there were 2-3 more players like them, it possibly might just be a different story today. But you know what? It is what it is. Arsenal have lost the title. Congratulations to Manchester City. We move.
That it is. That's it. There's a comment coming up from YMXI Ways. It says they will now win points tally trophy, Abi. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Let me quickly run the EPL result over the weekend. We have Leeds United sharing spoil together with Newcastle. Also, Aston Villa 2, Spurs 1. Chelsea. Sheyo Midiora, what's going on with Chelsea? 2-2 again. Sheyo, talk to me. What's going on there? What happened?
I think I've said on this show, or I said it previously, that Chelsea are going to pick up 4 points from the games against Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. I was not sure about the order, but as I predicted, they picked up 4 points from those two games, and I think they are done for the season because they'll lose their next 3 definitely against Manchester City, against Man U, and against Newcastle. It's
you like on the video for sure. Yeah.
against Forest. There was something that people said about Graham Potter when they said Chelsea were creating chances, but they were not scoring. Now, since Lampard took charge, in general, the team has even stopped creating chances. If you check the XG, in most of the games under Frank Lampard, Chelsea have lost the XG battle, so they've even stopped creating chances. Credit to Taiwo Awoniyi for scoring his brace. He took advantage of Edward Mendy's error of misjudgment and trying to come for that cross from Ronaldo, which was a very weird decision by Mendy. And then the second header was also them more or less capitalizing on Chelsea's weakness from set pieces. We've seen Chelsea concede several goals from such situations this season, and then that conceded against Forest on Saturday. So for Chelsea, they just need to go back to the drawing board because this season has been a disaster, to be honest. So for Forest, I think this was their first point away from home, I think in about 2 or 3 months. So credit to them. And I think in recent weeks they embraced the chaos in terms of how they've been scoring goals and also letting goals at the other end. So they just need to hopefully find their shooting boots and also keep things tight at the back because in the final 2 games they face Arsenal. I think they travel to Palace, so things will get tricky for them if they don't find the balance in terms of scoring and conceding goals.
All right, 1 second again. Robbie, you're going to run the review for these 3 matches. That's Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Manchester United versus Wolves, and Southampton versus Fulham. I think Southampton absolutely relegated. I think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that Southampton will be more or less enjoying the best of Championship football next season, as it is courtesy of that defeat at the hands of Fulham. And I think I will just let me just quickly I won't dwell too much on these games. Let me just quickly talk about something that I'm so sure that Kunle knows about very well, and that is the lot. And that is the lot of the Nigerian players in the team. Joe Aribo is part of Southampton, and Paul Onuachu came in January for the Saints. Unfortunately, these two lads or these 2 players will be playing Championship football next season. And I think I will draw more on Paul Onuachu. On several programs I have attended, even spaces I have talked on. I have talked about this particular issue, and I've talked about the penchant for Nigerian players to always look for the easy way out, which usually affects the productivity of our national team. If you take a look at the first 11 of the Nigerian national team right now, and of course you begin to look at the teams they play for in Europe, and how many of them even starts for these teams, you just find out that you are more or less marking a script of maybe like 5/10 or 4/10. Apart from Victor Osimhen, which other player starts for his team regularly and contributes to the lot of that team? So So, talking about Paulo Nuachu, you left the best in Belgium and you came to England. Yes, some arguments came and said he's trying to look for a challenge, he's trying to look for a new environment. And the question I ask, why did somebody like Messi not go to Ajaccio in the French League One when Lewandowski left the Bundesliga for a new challenge in the Spanish La Liga? Why did he not go to play for Getafe? Or why did he not go to play for Elche? Or why did he not even go to play for Almeria? And it is just the psychological way of how Nigerian players think.
Yeah.
The current captain of Nigerian national team, that is William Troost-Ekong, plays for Salernitana in the Italian Serie A, another relegation threatened team. And you want these guys to come and give you the best at the national team. You want these guys to come and compete against the best on the continent. Well, that aside, so Southampton are done and dusted. They will play championship football next season. Talking about Chelsea's game against Nottingham Forest, right? Am I right? Please let me display the fixture once again. Chelsea Southampton. I think that was another game that was surprising as it is. Oh, okay. United against Wolverhampton. Wanderers win. Why? Because more or less they are playing at home, and it is one place that United have been able to build a fortress in. Their own fixtures has gone relatively easy for the Red Devils. Maybe they just had 2 draws or thereabout, but over the course of the season, they have found very, very good comfort at home, and they found it against Wolverhampton Wanderers that did not do much in that particular game. And kudos has to be given to Garnacho that came off the bench to score a goal on his return. And the argument ranges on, and of course, I'm coming for Kunle's head again, is the capacity, the capability, as well as the influence of that boy as compared to Anthony. That boy did, in give or take less than 15 minutes, what Anthony could not do on the field what Anthony could not do in the field in 90 minutes. And I tell you, why do I love that boy? Why? The reason why I love that boy is simple. That boy plays direct football. That boy keeps a defender on his toes. That boy will attack a defender head on. He might lose the ball, but he does not miss, or he does not dump that perspective of when you get the ball, run at the defender. And this is one thing that Anthony does not do. He would rather flick, he would rather pass blow back, he would rather run, and of course, trying to pick the pass that makes the difference is also another weakness for that man called Anthony, that I will tell you, there's really nothing you want to say about that guy. I will still not rate him. So for United, it was a very good day at the office. It was a good day at the office, and it was a wonderful 3 points for them. Yes, it eases the pressure on United at this point in time as they try to keep their top 4 slot. But I think they will need to do more in their final 2 games or thereabout so that they can keep that position, because if Liverpool wins tonight, it means that the pressure is back on United again. So what about the last game? The last game you talked about is Crystal Palace against Bournemouth. It was a good one for Crystal Palace, and of course, the guys of Nigerian descent shined very well in that game. Eberechi Eze was wonderful in that game, and I heard he scored a stunner. I didn't see the game, but from everything I read about it, the game, he did very, very well in that game. And as it is right now, Crystal Palace are in a very, very good place. It seems that the sacking of Patrick Vieira was a good call, and of course, it seems Roy Hodgson remains one man that knows the in and out of the club. So it's a good one for Crystal Palace, a good one for United, and of course, not so good for Southampton last weekend.
All right, thank you so much. I want us to go head-to-head between Kunle and Prof. Prof, can you hear me loud and clear, please? Prof.
I can hear you.
All right, Prof, what's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
It's good to
All
be here.
right, you're welcome. Kunle, can you hear me? You're going to head-to-head.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Yes, let's do head-to-head on this Arsenal season so far. I don't want to involve Okwe. I want outsiders to look at it. Yeah. Prof, I'm going to start off with you. If you look at Arsenal's season, this season, last season, they bottle it. Can you actually say this season they actually bottle it? Or something else. Prof, what's your thoughts? Please tell me.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, look, it all depends on perspective. Okay, when they started the season, as you can see, on the screen, when they started the season, they didn't set out to, obviously, their aim was not they wanted to qualify for the top four, like Prof said, but then during the season, expectation changes. There are a lot of things that somehow affect a team season. I've said it before. The fact that Arsenal will not have a better opportunity, in my opinion, to go ahead and win the title. It's a season where Chelsea were going through turmoils. The whole changes in the club. Liverpool were not there. Man United to adjust change manager, they are not there. And they were clear. 8 points clear at the time. It was just City, who at the time were also people like Shea even said Arsenal will go ahead and win the league. A lot of people wrote City off. I think it was just you and I that stood strong on this channel and said Arsenal will not win it because we somehow, some way saw City back in it. So look, they had it in their hands. There's no doubt about it. And then when you look at the kind of games that they lost, for me, it's the way and manner they lost these games. I'm talking about throwing away the lead 2-0 at Anfield. That can even still be forgivable. And then we go ahead to West Ham. 2 goals ahead, and then Bukayo Saka under pressure, losing that penalty. When you look at that, and then you look at the Southampton game, who now are relegated, scoring 3 goals at the Emirates. When you look at things like that, because they could have gone ahead and lost the game against Man City and still win the title. But when you put all these things together, at the crunch period of the season, for me, I think you cannot look past them bottling it, because it's all well and good to say it wasn't their target. But once you're there and you can see it and your hand is almost there, you have to get it. I kept saying on this channel, you have to find a way to get it. You have to grind. Leicester City won games. When Leicester City won the title, they had games they won 1-0. I didn't see this Arteta team trying to shut the back door and clinching games 1-0. There's a saying in football, when a keeper is making too many saves, some people see it as a good thing. But the real fact of the matter is, it's a bad anticipation when a goalkeeper is making too many saves. I'm just trying to make an analogy here. It's the same thing with Arsenal. Those games they kept on coming back after going a goal or 2 goals down. I was looking at it from another way. The Arsenal faithful, they were all jubilating, looking at it. Oh, mental strength. Oh, the team is coming back in 9 minutes. Reece Nelson just scored. We're going to win the league. I was looking at it from another table. How long would you continue to come back in these games? There are games when you will not be able to come back. Against better sides that you struggle to come back. They were looking at it from the fun angle. I did not say anything, but I was looking at it from another angle. And lo and behold, there were games they couldn't come back. Against Southampton, they thought they were going to nick it at the death. They couldn't. They dropped points there. So look, they should have found another way. This is me putting on the coach as well. To nick games 1-0, conceding 42 goals, more than Chelsea, after Chelsea's disastrous season, conceding more than Chelsea, just says the story. I mean, William Saliba's loss, yes, you can blame part of it on William Saliba, but I'm not going to say Arsenal have lost the title because of William Saliba. I think it's more than that. I think at the right time, when the pressure, was there for them to win it, when they started to feel it, these players will be going on the streets like of Bukayo Saka, like of Martinelli, and Arsenal fans will be telling them, "Are you going to do it?" They'll be reading the papers, watching Sky Sports, saying things like that. The pressure was too much for them. They've never been there before, and I think they just crumbled under pressure as far as I'm concerned. I think they bottled it, to be honest.
They bottled it. All right. Kunle has another different opinion to that. Kunle, did the Arsenal really bottle it?
I wouldn't say they did. Although, you would say, of course, you were leading. They did this last season, the top 4. They almost had the top 4 in their hands and it slipped from their grasp. But the way I look at this is that, this is an Arsenal team who have not even been in this position. Almost 10 years. I can't remember when last Arsenal
2016, this season that Leicester won it. That was the last time Arsenal was in this position. That season, Arsenal was.
Were they really? I think it was between Leicester and Tottenham, if I'm right.
No, it was between Arsenal and Leicester. Arsenal was the only team to defeat Leicester home and away. But still found a way not to win the title.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
And
We're putting
apparently,
Arsenal.
okay, and funny enough, I think that was the season. That was the last time Arsenal finished in the top four.
Yeah,
That's
correct.
16 exactly.
Correct.
So a lot has happened since that time. A lot of changes, managers, players. I don't think there's anybody from that. Or is there still anyone from that time who is still in the club now? I don't think.
Maybe
Yeah,
El Neni.
so-
El Neni is the only
El
one.
Neni.
El Neni.
Okay, El Neni, fine.
El Neni.
Okay. But El Neni is not really that much of an influential figure in the team and all of that. So, it shows that Arsenal it's been a while. So this crop of players that are there, including the manager, have not been in this kind of position before. So if anything, it's more of, let's say, a learning curve. It starts from somewhere. We always mention City, but we all know that City probably has. I mean, City's team, it cannot be matched with any other club in the world. I mean, not even Real Madrid squad is up to theirs. Not even maybe Barcelona, because I know Barcelona have quite a number of options in their squad. But you know know very well that Barcelona cannot really go up against the best of the best in Europe, which again stems from the fact that that's what I'm trying to say, that this Barca team now cannot really go with the best in Europe because there has been a change. That Barca team that used to be dominant is not there anymore. So it's a new change, new players, even those who were there from that dominant era, their legs have already gone. And also for Arsenal, I see it more as a learning curve rather than bottling it. That's how I see it.
All right, let's do head to head about this return of this man.
I'm so sorry, Don. Let me just say something final on this Arsenal thing, right?
Okay.
Number one, let me just state the fact that Arsenal are the biggest bottlers in the history of bottling in the Premier League.
I'm not Tottenham.
Yes, I'm not Tottenham. Because the way Arsenal bottle,
I can't believe
that record straight, right? Arsenal are the biggest bottlers. One. Number two is the fact that Mikel Arteta has some growing up to do. His in-game management cost Arsenal points this season, majorly against Liverpool, majorly against Manchester United. And in the second half of this season, this last couple of months, the fact that he kept playing Rob Holding ahead of Jakub Kiwior, honestly, it makes me want to charge him to court, because I will never understand the rationale behind that. It is as simple as that, because just like Prof said, it is very hard for you to say that because of William Saliba, Arsenal just lost the league. We could have played a Jakub Kiwior. Also, if Tomiyasu was fit, he could have possibly played, and you have Ben White playing alongside Gabriel.
Also, I want you to look at using always using Saka. I think at some point.
Yes, I said that in my analysis at the beginning. Always using Saka was a problem. The boy was jaded many times. He was never given a rest. So I begin to think, what was the rationale behind sending Marquinhos on loan? What was the rationale behind sending Pepe on loan? And you had Reece Nelson there. Although Reece Nelson was not fit throughout the season, but even this last couple of weeks, this last couple of months, Reece Nelson should have played more games, because you could see the difference he makes when he comes off from the bench. So Arteta as well can be blamed for this bottling, but I believe he would only get better. I hope he's not so stubborn and doesn't get stuck in his ways. I hope he learns from what he has done wrong, because this is his first time in charge as a full-time manager. I know the board and the club are behind him, but he needs to learn from his mistakes and make Arsenal a better team going forward.
All right, let's.
I wish I can respond to what Ope said.
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
I agree with your points, but you can't really take it out on Arteta, because number one, Arsenal don't have a huge squad, right? And managers, bar Manchester City, managers will always tend to stick with a formation or a crop of players that have given results. Yes, you would say Saka has been very influential. Look at his numbers. It's going to be difficult for you to say you want to rest him. That's the same thing too that happened with Bruno Fernandes. It's difficult for you, because who is that person who can do what what this player brings on the pitch? So you would have no choice but to use him. because there is no equal replacement that you have in the squad. So you can't blame the manager for using, because if you didn't use it and you now drop points, you will still come back and blame the manager and say, why did he rest him and all of that? Should be Saka is collecting money. This, that's what you will still come out and to say at the end of the day. So I feel it's, like I've said, I still feel it's a learning curve. And like we said, Arsenal will invest in more players. Maybe Marquinhos and those players who went on loan will be better off already. The way Saliba benefited from his loan at Saint Etienne, So I feel there is more to be hopeful about rather than try to feel woeful that this thing slipped. If you've come this close, that opportunity will definitely come one again if you put in the same effort with the right attitude and all. That's how I see.
All right. Thank you so
And
much.
just to round off, just to put it in context, Arsenal were ahead 93%. 93% of the season they were on top of the table. Just to allude to what Okoya said about them being the biggest, you were ahead of the table for 93% of the season. That's when they were that's when they were on top of the table. So I think it has to be a bottling. It has to be.
All right, big up to this brother. YMX Highways. He has been chatting up with us, talking about Arsenal actually bottle it, even though they have a very good season. It doesn't mean they have a bad season. Also, go to the point that maybe if they have won a cup this season, it will have helped them. Well, that's another thing. If they have won, so I want us to go on to this topic. Head to head, it's going to be between Sheye Omidiora and Ope Adebari. Sheye is a Chelsea fan, so you're going to start with you, Sheye, first. The return of Pochettino. What do you see? Is it suitable for Chelsea?
Well, I'll cut right to the chase.
No. Speak the truth, because you are coming down to fire everybody.
Yes, I will cut right to the chase. Actually, I feel he is suitable for the Chelsea job, and this is why. I think in a couple of his jobs, I think at Southampton and also at Spurs, we saw him more or less train a crop of young players, develop them, and then make them much better. I think in a sense this is a bigger scale at Chelsea. The rebuilding job is obviously immense. He has to trim down the squad. He has to streamline the squad really well and let go of players that he doesn't want to have in his team. Obviously,
like Lukaku, you can see the screen. Am I right?
Well, I think that remains to be seen. There will be conversations between player, the club, and the coach, and then they will make a decision. But in terms of the general makeup of Chelsea's squad, this is a young squad as well. We can see that they have lots of potential. Some of them are still very raw, and they will need coaching. So I think in that sense, Poch is someone who suits the current crop of players at Chelsea in the sense that he can come in and coach them and get them at least to play at the higher level. And then if he's going to win, I really don't know if he's going to win trophies, but I think in terms of being able to coach the players and then streamline the squad, is someone who should be suited to the job.
Are you sure? I mean, Chelsea doesn't have waste time about for coach to be doing all this training small boys, training them. I mean, well, I'm going to leave it to Okwe since we said it's head to head. Okwe, Poch is coming back, not even to Tottenham, but to Chelsea FC. Do you think it's good for the job? Go for it, Okwe.
Is Pochettino qualified for the job? Yes, he's qualified for the job. Is he going to be the man to make the best out of this Chelsea squad? I'm not entirely convinced. Just first of all, let me say that he's not a trophyless man. He has gone outside of England to win a trophy in the Farmers League, right? And I don't believe that Pochettino was entirely successful at Paris Saint-Germain. Why is that? Because he was not able to make do of that fantastic trio of Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar. And during Pochettino's time, the truth is that there were many rumors and many leaks about what used to happen in the dressing room. Pochettino did not have that dressing room on lockdown. And that makes me feel like Poch cannot handle big characters. Poch cannot handle big names and try and merge them together and make them work. And I think under PSG under Poch were quite underwhelming. compared to the PSG that we know that is consistently dominant in France. I'm not saying they were not dominant during his time, but I'm telling you that they were underwhelmingly dominant compared to what we are used to from past managers who are always ruthless in French football when they are coaching PSG. Now going into Chelsea, the truth is that he's got a lot of weapons in his arsenal. But the question is, who are the players that he's going to stick to? Who are the ones that he's going to make a part of the squad? Because straight from the get-go, I'm glad that coach is going to have a preseason to himself. So he will look at so many players and then he'll pick from the crop. I do not think Romelu Lukaku is going to be one of them. I don't think Lukaku would want to come back to the Premier League after what has happened. Just like Sheyes said on our platform, Lukaku's style of football suits Italian football and vice versa. But the only problem here now is that Inter Milan don't have the financial capabilities to retain Romelu Lukaku. So it's up to Lukaku to actually make a bold move and see what he can do. But Chelsea as well would not want to lose from the financial aspect. Going into other aspects on the field, I must say that Chelsea have a lot of talented youngsters on loan. I mean, just take a look at Liverpool, who I mentioned earlier. They've got other players scattered around the EPL, different tiers of English football, and even outside of England as well. Then again, is Poch going to stick to Thiago Silva? Is Thiago Silva going to stay one more season at Chelsea? I'm not sure if he has signed a contract extension. But most importantly, in the midfield, uncertainty over Mason Mount's future, uncertainty over Kante's future. Joao Felix as well, I don't know if he's going to be retained. Zakaria as well, you don't know if he's going to be retained. So many jigsaws to the puzzle. So Poch has a lot to do, but I'm not confident in Poch bringing Chelsea back to limelight the way we know Chelsea to be.
All right. Prof, do you have anything to back this up about this head-to-head? Considering you're a Chelsea fan, what's your thought?
Yeah, concerning Poch, look, people will say he hasn't won anything, substantial. But look, if you look at the managers, Carlo Ancelotti, for instance, Don Carlo, who has done wondrous things in football, also went to PSG, and I don't think he did more than he didn't win the Champions League as well. I think if you're in PSG and you don't win the Champions League, they feel like you failed. But he won the league on Pochettino, and he was the first manager to be given the MSN, to be given Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar, and he had to work his way around, which is not something any manager, maybe Pep Guardiola, can really handle for the first time, and obviously he was under pressure doing that. But look, we have to look at him. It's the Premier League now. We have to measure him based off of what he did with Spurs. And with Spurs, he brought a lot of younger players. He made them work hard. He molded them into what he did. That's his specialty, into what he wanted. And and he was successful doing that. They didn't win the title, they didn't win any trophy, but he was very, very pivotal in bringing those players in and enhancing their talent. And that is the position Chelsea is at the moment. They have lots of players that he can work with. He has to choose from. I think the bulk of his job right now is just to choose amongst those players, who he wants to use, and then sell some of them, and also buy. I'm hearing that he needs some elite Premier League players. He needs a midfielder. He needs a striker and a goalkeeper, at least for starters in this team. So there's going to be a lot of outgoings and some incomings. And look, I think, like I said, a year ago, he was in the run. He was between head-to-head. It was between him and Erik ten Hag for a club for Manchester United, the biggest club in England. They wanted him. They wanted him for a reason. They just went for Erik ten Hag, but it was head-to-head between him and ten Hag. So I don't think it's a bad. People should not paint him as a bad manager. I think at this stage and level Chelsea is, he would do. I think he would do his best. I would see a better Chelsea next season.
Well, what I know about this thing is that Chelsea are not patient enough. The fans are not patient enough to be waiting for one coach to be settling, or let's give him another. I mean, Kunle, you can contest to this. I mean, what do you think? Can Chelsea have that?
We've been spoiled over the years. I understand, because
I'm a big fan of Pochettino.
Oh, you're a big fan.
I'm a big fan of Pochettino. Looking at what he did at Spurs, I'm for, like I've said many times.
So you are supporting him. I mean, you are supporting him to return to Chelsea. I mean, get to the job.
But the thing is, will there be patience? Because
that's what I want to say. I
because
want to ask Chelsea fans, will they have that?
Everything he did at Tottenham, he did it without pressure. That's why he was even able to get to the Champions League final.
No pressure.
There was no pressure on him. He could do his thing, because what Tottenham just basically needed to do was top 4. And he was getting it, right? But in the process of getting top 4, that's when they finished second. They finished third. They reached the Champions League final. You understand? Yeah. So it came. But Chelsea, I mean, look at Graham Potter. They didn't even give the man. So Graham Potter is someone like that. He coaches players. He develops players. He works on players. You understand? But they didn't give him the space because the results were not just coming. So if there is something like that, where maybe Chelsea are on a run of 5 games, despite the fact that there are signs, like Sheye would say, okay, they are creating chances. You can see that some of these players are showing promise and all, but nobody's going to listen to that. Once they see that you are 5 games, and we're in this era of social media. Once you start trending, it becomes a narrative that the media will start spinning, and before you know it, it is going to get to the owners of the club, and they will have no choice but to let it go. But I hope it won't be like that. At least Pochettino is able to do it like how Ten Hag has been able to do it, because that is what will be able to validate. That's what will be able to validate Pochettino. Because see, Tottenham fans are going to come for him. They will not forgive him for going to Chelsea. They will not forgive him. So he has to succeed at all costs. Otherwise,
Prof will be the first person to say, "Poch out now."
Then I want to change a notion, please.
All right, go
League One is not Farmers League. Go and look at the current table now. It's just 5 points that is separating PSG. Gone are those days when, at this point, PSG will be leading.
That's also because Christophe Galtier does not have a hold of his dressing room. It's as simple as that.
Even on that Pochettino, it was. Can you remember when he came up? It wasn't easy. Also, when he came,
of course. I think he lost. I'm not saying it's easy.
He lost the title to, was it Lille or was it, who was that team?
Yes, he lost to Lille Metropole. Exactly. I'm not saying it's easy. But I'm saying, when you look at the track record of managers that have taken over PSG since the Qatari era, I'm talking about Laurent Blanc, I'm talking about Carlo Ancelotti, I'm talking about Unai Emery. When these individuals were involved with PSG was ruthless. When I say ruthless, I mean they were winning domestic treble back to back. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, it's seen that if you're a PSG manager, you don't win the Champions League, it's seen as a failure. Fine.
But you can't deny that French teams have improved as well.
Yes, they've improved. But power and quality in depth, they will never match PSG. That's just the truth.
But they are matching them in the league.
Guys, I'm sorry. Because of our time, let's quickly talk because I'm still coming back for this Poch of a thing. I'm not confident with Poch going to Chelsea because Chelsea doesn't have that. Waiting time, but we'll still come back to it. But let's quickly go to this Champions League. It's going to be massive starting from tomorrow. It's going to be Inter versus, but we'll come to that. Preview of Champions League. Robbie, the Champions League is here again, and this is the second leg. If you miss it, you are out. I'm going to start with you, Robbie, on this game. Inter Milan versus AC Milan. The first leg was in favor of Inter away with 2-0 by AC Milan. What are you expecting in this game?
Well, I'm actually not expecting much because over the course of the weekend as well, AC Milan lost over the course of the weekend. So it just tells you that the confidence in their camp right now is not the best in preparation to face their arch enemy once again. So, and Inter over the course of the weekend, they also won. So it just tells you that there is a disparity in the camps of both teams going into the second leg. Will Rafael Leao be available for the second leg? It remains to be seen. But I think Inter Milan did themselves a lot of favor getting that 2-0 cushion and of course not conceding. Yes, they were unlucky not to have been able to get that penalty to extend their lead. But I think if if the game of tomorrow plays out just exactly as it did in the first leg, I don't see any way where Inter Milan will not make it into the final. So for tomorrow, I think it's going to be a straightforward game between both sides.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. With Sheye coming in, Sheye, this game, do you believe AC Milan can turn it around, or what's your take on it?
Well, I feel with AC Milan, the injury problems they have might play a part in what happens tomorrow because we are still not sure about Rafael Leao's return from injury. That is one thing. I think he's going to be fit, maybe for the bench. I think that remains to be seen. I actually haven't read Stefano Pioli's press conference from today, so I don't know if he has confirmed Rafael Leao's participation for tomorrow. But Inter, we know how Simone Inzaghi is with core competitions. He tends to take them pretty seriously. I think the issue he has is having consistency in league football, but in cups, he tends to actually give his best. We've seen Inter keep 7 clean sheets in their 11 games so far in the Champions League. So that shows that they can keep things pretty tight at the back. So, and credit to Andrew Anna, who statistically is one of the best goalkeepers in the Champions League this season. So I feel all in all, Inter seem to have they have more options actually. They have more options to pick from. They have more strength in depth. Milan are missing so many players. We saw Rade Kronic and Benacer get injured against Inter in the first leg. They missed the game at the weekend. Benacer is actually out for the season, so they have injuries all over. I feel also at set pieces, we've seen Milan concede more or less a similar goal to Inter from set pieces in the last games in all competitions, in last week in the Champions League and also the last meeting they had in Serie A. So I feel generally Inter just seem to have a bit more about themselves. And I was listening to the Italian journalists talk about the game last week, and they felt maybe Inter should have maybe scored a third goal. Let's see if they regret. Let's see if they live to regret that decision to just try to manage the game rather than go for a third goal.
Well, let's talk about the game of. Can I say the game of the season? Between it's going to happen on Wednesday. I'm going to start off with you, Prof. Going into this game, it's 1-1 at Bernabeu. But tomorrow, on Wednesday, it's going to be at Etihad. Do you think Man City will finish the game from your own point of view?
I think they will, but I don't think it will be easy, to be honest. A lot has been said about how Madrid, they own this competition, and no doubt about it, they do. They rise up to the occasion. Even it's so easy to get carried away sometimes and predict that they would lose and because of the way their domestic form is sometimes. But look, when they hear that Champions League anthem, I think they're a different animal.
Different animal.
Look, but they are facing the Man City side that they would not, they are just another thing. They're a machine, this Man City team, and they know what happened last season. I think Pep is a little bit cautious now. He's not going to go all guns blazing. It will be very weary.
Do you think he will bench Alan? Come on.
No doubt. No doubt.
You could bench Alan.
He won't. Yeah, look, I've said it. He has reduced the way he thinks. I think he has found his formation. He has found the formula, and he has stuck with it. And that is paying him a lot of dividend now. So he's going to go for his trusted 11, which you all know. We don't know if Ake is fit yet to make it, but if it's not, Akonji has been advertising fantastically well on the left side, and the Walker also, obviously, who has a lot of pace to contend with Vinicius. Look, it's going to be a very, very difficult game. This is only Madrid's chance of. I don't know if it's their only chance of winning the title, or they won. I think they won another title. They won the Copa del Rey. I don't know who won I think they won the Copa del Rey.
They won Copa del Rey.
Yeah, but this is Copa del Rey. But this is the competition they want to win. We all know, and this is the one City wants to win as well. So I think with the City, the crowd, the atmosphere at the Etihad on Wednesday will be immense. It will be really immense because.
But do you think that crowd? Do you think that crowd will actually means anything for Real Madrid? Because those people, they don't care about it. They play their game.
Yeah. Look at Karim Benzema, Vinicius, Modric. They do not care about the crowd.
They don't care.
In fact, it's almost like they use other people's crowd and stadium as a motivation, as a fuel for their game. That's how elite they are. This Real Madrid players and team. But I don't see it going. I don't see them winning at the Etihad. Honestly, I think Man City will do the job. I think they will get over the line. And like I wanted to say, this is the final. So I think anybody who obviously wins this one, football can happen, but I think anybody who wins this game will go ahead and dismantle Milan in the final. So I think this has to be taken very seriously by both managers, and I just think that Pep Guardiola, he needs it so much. He needs to put that doubt behind. Everybody says they cannot win it without Lionel Messi and Xavi and things like that. And he also knows that he has to win the Champions League. City they need it for their club as well to be ranked amongst the elite in Europe. They have to win the Champions League, and this is the best opportunity for them to go for the treble. They know that they have the league. They know that this is the final of the Champions League, and obviously Man United to play in the FA Cup. So they would love to create history. I don't see any way that they bought to live from here now.
Okay.
I have a question for Prof though.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, do you see Real Madrid? Because Prof is saying no way Manchester City is they're going to dismantle them. Do you see Real Madrid showing up in this game on Wednesday?
There's no doubt about it. Madrid will turn up as always. It's a Champions League game, and it feels like the Champions League was made for Real Madrid. Even Pep Guardiola has said that in time past. However, I think things are different this season. If you take a look at that first leg, Manchester City took the game to Real Madrid in a manner that I did not see coming. I expected Madrid to be more dominant than they were. But Man City really took the game to them. And it's rather unfortunate that the De Bruyne goal should have been ruled out. The match might have ended 1-0 in favor of Manchester City. But that doesn't mean that Manchester City did not play good football, even with their three at the back, right? And just like Prof said, Akanji would deputize very well in the place of Nathan Ake. But then again, once again, it's the Champions League. It's Real Madrid for me. It's Real Madrid for me. It's Los Blancos because they are a different gravy when it comes to the Champions League. I mean, Vinicius, Benzema, Rodrigo, Kroos, Modric. Look at Rudiger against Manchester City. Look at the way Rudiger kept Haaland so close to him. Almost like he wanted to put his leg in the same shorts that Haaland was wearing. It's really a different game. Look at Thibaut Courtois. I remember that first chance that De Bruyne had in that game. Usually on a normal day, 10 out of 10, De Bruyne is slotting that chance at the back of the net. But Courtois said, no, not today. So we're going to see quality on another level. It would be difficult, but you see, there was a question you asked, Didon. You asked Prof, you said, do you think the fans will play a major factor? The truth is that with Manchester City, their fans have not always been that 12th man for them. The first and only time I have ever witnessed Manchester City's fans being a 12th man for them was against Arsenal this season at the Etihad, the last game in that Premier League game. So I would love to see that from Manchester City's fans. I think Pep would also like that. There was a time last year, but this season, Pep did complain about the attendance. He wasn't impressed with it. He felt like Manchester City fans were not coming out enough to show support to their team.
It was last year.
Yeah, so Manchester City fans need to do better. If they really want their team to win, they need to come out in full force, be that 12th man for the team, and help them give Madrid a run for their money. But I will go for a Madrid win.
All right. Also, Europa will be played on Thursday. I think Juventus will be traveling all the way to Sevilla, and also Roma traveling away to Bayern. Robbie, do you see what's your score prediction, or what do you see about these two games on Thursday, Europa League?
Well, let me start with Roma. I think Roma in pole position. Why? Because of the kind of tactics that Mourinho plays in this kind of cup competition. Mourinho is not the kind of I have a fine handwriting kind of coach. He demands love to play it dirty, and he loves to win whichever way possible. Whatever tactics you give to him, giving the guerrilla give him the urban warfare tactics. This man will find a way to get a goal in that game, and the German side are unable to equalize before the 80th minute. I will tell you, it's going to be a tough one to call, because Juventus they are going to eat. I don't know. Sevilla might turn up on that day, and of course, they might just find a way to get past Juventus at this point in time. So for the first one, I'll predict Roma win, and of course, Roma in the finals of the Europa Cup. The team to join them, I would favor Sevilla to join them in the finals.
Yes. All right. Kunle, you wanted to ask Prof a question about Real Madrid and going all the way to Italy.
Yeah, I just wanted to, but the first leg was largely a conservative approach from both teams. They tried to be as cautious as much as possible, and I feel that's why maybe the game wasn't as explosive as, let's say, it was last season. And because of that, I don't know, but one side of me is like saying that this second leg might possibly end up in a draw. Who knows? Maybe goalless, maybe another 1-1. But now the thing now is, if that game goes into extra time or potentially penalties, my question is like, who could it favor if it goes to that? I know penalties can go in anyone's way, but would we say that if that is the case, maybe it's game over for Man City, maybe because
if it goes to penalties, it is most likely to favor Real Madrid if it goes to penalties.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if the game goes past 90 minutes, if City don't win the game in 90 minutes, I think they will start panicking, and that favors Madrid. They've been there. They're all masters of this competition. So if it starts to get to that point where the game is entering the extra time, you have to start favoring Madrid at that point. They might just get snatched away from Man City. So I think Man City wants to do the job in 90 minutes. I think they'll use the crowd well, and they'll get the job done in 90 minutes.
All right. Sheye, somebody just text me now that they love the way you do your prediction, so they want to copy you in this prediction for this game for the Champions League first. The Champions League, Sheye, they want to hear your score prediction. They are writing it down right now as I speak.
Chelsea is not playing now. That's why Sheye gets it.
All right, talk to me, Sheye. Somebody says, what's your score prediction? They are writing it down. What's the score prediction on Manchester United? Sorry. Did I say Manchester United?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
You wish.
Exactly, you wish.
All right, Manchester City versus Real Madrid. They want to hear your on this.
I feel it's going to end 1-0 in 90 minutes, and then City will edge it actually in extra time.
All right, you people, you can hear Shea now.
For Inter Milan.
Inter Milan, okay.
I think it's going to end 1-1 as well.
Oh, 1-1. So that means Inter is going to go through.
Yes.
All right, you people. You've heard from the bad guy himself. Is it octopus or what's it called? Those
Oracle.
I wish.
From the Kukurunku himself.
All right. There's going to be a match played tonight. It's going to be between Leicester City versus Liverpool in a couple of minutes, and Newcastle as well too. It's going to be on Wednesday, Thursday or something. Newcastle versus Brighton. So on this match, Liverpool, Leicester City. Kunle, do you think Liverpool will come up with something in this game?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Liverpool are on a mad run at the moment, and things have finally clicked for them. There's finally that balance in the team. It's like we are seeing the Liverpool of old. But Leicester City are trying to fight for their lives, right? And they are at home. Yeah. This could be the game that will determine their fate, right? Yeah. Leicester have beaten Liverpool before. I remember there was a game. Yes. I don't know if it was that season Liverpool. Okay, no, not the season Liverpool. There was this season that they beat Liverpool 1-0. Liverpool pressed and pushed everything at Leicester, but Leicester were able to soak up the pressure. They need to probably replicate something like that this night if they really want to stay up. I think Leicester City have relegated, so I see this as a comfortable win for Liverpool tonight.
All right. So, guys, this is how far we can go. Kunle, have you seen it? Is it Kunle or Sheye? Yes, the NBA playoff.
Yes. Yes, we are already in the finals, and it's going to be a cracker. I mean, I personally, I would love to see LA Lakers and Boston Celtics again. They are the two most successful teams in the NBA. Both have 17 championships, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, the Denver Nuggets, I'm not sure, but I think the Denver Nuggets finished. I think they were the ones who topped the Western Conference. Boston Celtics, Miami, it is equally going to be a very, very tough one. So, I mean, this is part of it. I can't wait for them to do that.
Yeah, on a final note, I think this Final Four for the playoffs is proof that the bubble was not a fluke. These teams are actually good enough, and they've got the firepower to win the NBA title.
Absolutely. Yes. You are absolutely right, Tope.
Yes. One more thing, I'm trying to pull up the under 17. Robbie, under 17 game. I think it's between. Do you follow under 17 game? It's going to be.
Yes, I do. Why are we talking about third place when there's a final to play? Who is interested in third place? Senegal, more or less, that's the only team I actually follow. Senegal made it into the finals of the under 17 African Cup of Nations yesterday. They defeated Burkina Faso 5-4 on penalties. And of course, Senegal against Morocco. Senegal would beat the living daylight out of Morocco in the finals.
Really? Wow.
Yes, wow. I am confident you can put your money on it. Senegal will beat. Senegal has only considered one goal in this tournament. So it tells you how very tough this team is and how talented they are. In the second half, they lost a penalty that was in regulation time against Burkina Faso. So if they had converted that penalty, that game wouldn't have gone to the penalties. So it tells you how strong that team is. So for me, I'm rooting all the way for Senegal to win this tournament.
All right. So far, so good. This is how far we can go, guys. Smash the like on the video. I want to say thank you to you, Okwe. It is what it is. The end of the season. I was hearing from AFTV. This guy called TY. He said there's still chance for Arsenal. They can still win it.
You're expecting Manchester City to lose games and Arsenal to win their remaining games. Chelsea can win. I don't see Arsenal winning away at Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest is
they are solid at home,
and Arsenal is going down. So what are we talking about?
All right. Thank you so much, Okwe. This is the one love you.
Always a pleasure.
All right, Robbie. Thanks once again, man. It is what it is, Robbie. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right, Sheye. The oracle yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I wish. Thanks, Don. Always good talk football.
All right, thank you so much, Prof. It is what it is. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you so much.
All right, Kunle.
Boss, I do.
Any latest? No latest. Nothing.
About we do where we do.
Yeah, but who is this girl that is cooking? Because it's all over everywhere.
She's going to. Yeah, she wants to break.
Robbie, you see me there? Who
is
this girl that is cooking anything? How many days?
Yeah. She's for 4 days. She has been cooking since Thursday.
Okay, what is she cooking, sir?
She has been cooking different dishes. She's cooking different dishes, So it's all a matter of breaking a record that was set by someone before. So and everyone is rooting for her. I mean, Lagos has gone she has broken the record. But I think she now wants to set a very high so that it will be fun for the next person. So I think she has gone more than 100 hours now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
more. Alati. All right.
Yes.
All right, Kunle, thanks so much, man. One love.
Thanks so much, Prof.
All right, guys. Please Majilak on the video Intercontinental Sports TV. This is how we roll. This is how we do it. Thank you, everybody. Majilak on the video. If you haven't subscribed, come on. What are you waiting for? Join the community. I love you guys. It is what it is. And I tell you, on this station, when it rains, it falls heavily. One love, people. Thanks for watching. Later.